Traders, 'tis I, the Rumpled One. Tro Zones Part 2. I know I said that I was gonna try not to enhance the indicator, but I couldn't help myself. You guys know me. I'm always thinking, looking to make things better. So what happened was I added two columns. Pivot point. It lets me know if it's crossed the daily pivot point. It lets me know where it is. So like in relation to the pivot. So here we got R1. And let's see, where is the handy dandy pivot screen? Do I have it up? I might not have it up. So we'd have to load up a pivot indicator. Let's see, I think we can change the HL5 to show the pivot. And you can see here's today's pivot down here to D0 pivot. It's probably hard to see. So let's see, let's pull up a different pair. There's the D0 pivot. As you can see, it crossed it and it's below it. So the X means it's crossed it and the PP red means it's below it. If you look at the AUDJPY, the Aussie yen, here's the pivot. You can see it crossed it and price is above it. Just let you know where price is in relation to the pivots. And then the fib retrace. This is set to 1 day before. Actually, this column was there before. The other column is the breakout. And I've got it set to 4 hours. And so what this will do is it'll tell me, based on the previous 4-hour bar, if there's a breakout. So you can see here, there was a nice breakout. You can trade the 4-hour breakout, or you can switch the indicator to trade the 1-hour breakout, or the M15. And the other thing is, not only can you trade the breakouts, but you can trade the break-ins. For example, right here we had a breakout, but then it went up, it reversed, and it came back down. I consider that a break-in. So those are the two new features of the indicator. I'm trying to remember if I made any other improvements to it. I think those were the big ones. You can see here the pound dollar is getting crushed. It is below 99. It is below S3 on the pivots. It broke out of the H4. There would have been a nice short there. It's below the ATR zone. I mean, it's just really getting hammered. 167 pips from the high to the close. Of course, it's in the lower rat zone within 20, close minus low, and it's below yesterday's low. Below yesterday's low, D1, low of D1, which is right here, the low of D1. So a nice little breakout short that way too. If you look here, you can see it. So that's what I've done with the indicator, added the pivot point and the breakout. Now, one of the things I've learned with the pivot point is if you're doing the holo trade, like right here, you can see there's no holo trades to be had at the moment. But if it gets near a pivot point, look for a holo trade. So it's simple. If the pivot point is below the lowest open, then you want to trade through the lowest open. Okay, trade that reversal. You can actually trade the reversal off of the pivot too, because if it's below the lower open and it crosses below the pivot and comes back above, that's a good trade. You want to go long there. And so that's something to look forward to. Now, let's see. Let me find if there's one. Well, yeah, here we go. We've got the dollar franc. And so it's up around R1, somewhere up in here. Maybe I can put on a pivot indicator that I found. Pivot. I decided to use this one instead of reinventing the wheel. And the one thing about this indicator, for some strange reason, they decided to put things in black. That's why I chose dim gray as my default, because it works on white backgrounds and black backgrounds. So some people like to have the background black, some people like to have it white. So you can see here. So what I was saying, here's the open high, but here's the pivot. So it went up above it, crossed below it. You could have gone short here, because sometimes between the high and the highest open, sometimes price just wants to get right to the open and then take off again. So you can see it's near that pivot. It's pulling back, reversing. So that would have been the short trade. You'd be up a couple of pips right now. And then if we can always look at it here, you can see it. Now another trade, like I told you before about the break-ins. So if price makes a new high and then comes back down, the previous candle high, or if you look over to the left, there might be some higher. Let's see if we go 15-minute, we might can see it. So see right here, when it broke back down below this high, the high was 97.98. That would have been a short right there, if that's for scalping. But I kind of like that trade sometimes. It pays off. Let me expand the chart here so you can see it just a little bit clearer. So right there, there would have been a short. And you'd be up, let's see, a couple of pips, because you got to account for the spread. But it looks like you'd be in pretty good position. You're in the rat zone. You're only 6 pips away from the high. And you're above the ATR zone. So based on statistics, it should come back outside of this zone. Well, let's see, is there anything else interesting looking? Now, one of the things I look at here is when I see these almost across the board, of course, if it's a breakout here and it's past the pivot, chances are you're not going to get a buy zone. But you can see here, that's kind of lit up like a slot machine. And so if you're looking here at the euro, 92 pips off the high, 4 pips off the low. Here's the open low. So you can see you got the holo trade. It crossed below daily one, so it's way down there. The low of yesterday. It's in the lower rat zone, 2 pips within 20. It's beyond the ATR zone. It broke out of H4, so if we look at the H4, you can see here it broke out, and H4 is going to be over in a half an hour. So we can switch up here and see possibly maybe we can get a turn at the bottom of the hour, which should happen in about 3 minutes. 2 minutes, 49 seconds, 48, and counting. And it looks like it wants to push it even lower. So when I'm using this, if I see anything 100 or 99, that catches my attention. I'm thinking there's probably a possible trade. And it looks like I just saw the buy zone light up here. D1. Because there's the D1 open. It's within, I've got this set to trigger, I believe, within 5 pips is the threshold. So what I should probably do is go over some of the inputs So if you have change all charts set to true, when you click on one of the pair buttons, it'll change all of your charts. If you want to show weekly or monthly values, have those included in the calculation. Um, you got the sound alert, mail, and push, though I'm not sure if I implemented those alerts. I think I just put the code in there for later. My period is a period here. Fib bar, shift 1, you want to use yesterday's. Um, Candle for your fib. Holo period, highest open, lowest open 60. Breakout period here is 4-hour bar. We're going to use the pivots for daily. ATR period's going to be off of daily. We're going to start with ATR 2, loop through ATR 3, 4, 5, dot, 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 to 12, 13, and 14. We will pick out the minimum and the maximum values of the ATR and use those to calculate the ATR zones off the current daily high and low. Chart X and says how many pips, or how, not pips, but how far to move it to the left, and chart Y, how far to move it down off the top. We're using corner 1 is here, and I should probably take that out because everything is set to corner 1. If you try and put it over here, things get all messed up. And here's where you can add your symbols. And if you have a ECN broker that has like ECN at the end of the pair name or .x or something, this you have to use this. Otherwise, you'll be calling me up or sending an email saying, yours isn't working, and then we'll figure out you didn't put in the addition. Threshold, like I said, is 5. So here, if it gets within 5 pips, it uses the threshold color. If there's a breakout, it's orange. Just the background color of the button. Some people, you can change it here if you like. Up, down, and equal colors. So those are the inputs. Okay, we were going to look at the pound dollar M30 to see if we get a reversal with the possible buy trigger for a holo at 1.3077. So I've got about 2 minutes left. As you can see, it changed, and I changed the code. Instead of having the little asterisk, we'll just flip the colors so you can know which one you selected, which one for the chart. And so what I do is I just sit here and I just stare at this screen, and then when I see a trade come on, I'll flip over to one of my trading charts, the appropriate one. This would be a wick zone trade. This here would be a buy zone trade. I don't know why I had that set to a different. And here we've got the holo trade, which we're waiting to see, and it looks like it's pushing down. And this indicator I should be releasing soon. I just want to keep testing it because it took me a while. I think I had a dumb divide by zero error, but I think I've got that straightened out. Okay, we've got weekly dynamic fibs on this chart, so you can see here the fibs are for the week. Or is this, did I switch this over to daily? Yeah, it looks like I switched it over to daily. I need to change that name. Well, okay, fellow traders, and of course we've got the rat zone, and you can see it's making a new low. Indicators dynamic. So that's it. It's not what you trade, it's how you trade it. The Rumpled One signing out.